Most people don't quit because they fail. They quit because they come painfully close to something real and suddenly feel exposed. They quit in that quiet moment when the excitement fades. The applause hasn't arrived yet, and the inner voice starts whispering uncomfortable questions. Is this really going to work? Am I wasting my time? What if this is as far as I go? That moment rarely looks dramatic from the outside. There's no explosion, no clear ending. It's usually just a slow drifting away, a decision to stop showing up, a subtle return to what feels safe. And that's what makes quitting early so common. It doesn't feel like quitting. It feels like being practical, realistic, even mature. But underneath it, something much deeper is happening. In the beginning, everything feels light. New goals carry energy. Motivation flows easily because the mind is drunk on possibility. You imagine how life might look once things work out. You picture confidence, respect, freedom, recognition. Your brain rewards you for dreaming because dreams are cheap. They don't demand proof. They don't require consistency. At this stage, effort feels exciting because results are still imagined, not demanded. This is why starting is easy and continuing is rare. The early phase gives emotional rewards without asking for emotional strength in return. Then, something shifts. The progress slows down. The feedback becomes unclear. You work, but results don't immediately follow. The gap between effort and reward stretches wider. And this is where most people begin to feel uneasy. Humans are wired to expect cause and effect to be close together. When that connection breaks, doubt rushes in. The mind starts scanning for evidence that quitting might be the smarter choice. Suddenly, every small setback feels like a sign. Every delay feels personal. And instead of asking how to adapt, people start asking whether they should stop. What's rarely talked about is how uncomfortable growth actually feels. We romanticize success, but avoid describing the emotional texture of the process. Real progress feels boring, repetitive, and uncertain for long stretches of time. It feels like doing the same thing again, with no guarantee it will matter. Most people are not trained for that kind of uncertainty. School rewards clear instructions. Jobs reward predictable outcomes. Society praises visible wins. But meaningful goals live in a fog where feedback is delayed and validation is scarce. Quitting early is often the nervous system's way of escaping that discomfort. There's also a powerful identity conflict happening beneath the surface. When you commit to something serious, you silently start redefining who you are. You are no longer just someone who tries. You're someone who is responsible for finishing. That responsibility can feel heavy. As long as you quit early, your identity remains protected. You can say you had potential. You can blame timing, resources, or circumstances. But if you stay long enough to truly test yourself, excuses fall away. You are forced to confront your limits, your discipline, and your fears. Many people quit not because they can't succeed, but because they are afraid of finding out what success would demand from them. Another reason people quit early is comparison. In the age of constant visibility, progress feels slow because you're measuring it against highlight reels. You see others moving faster, celebrating milestones, being praised. You don't see their confusion, their failures, their invisible grind. Comparison creates the illusion that everyone else is ahead, and that illusion is emotionally exhausting. Instead of focusing on your own path, you start questioning whether your path is valid at all. Quitting becomes a way to stop the mental noise. There's also the misunderstood role of motivation. Many people believe motivation is a requirement for consistency, when in reality, it's a byproduct of momentum. Motivation shows up after progress, not before it. When motivation fades, people interpret it as a sign that something is wrong. They think passion should feel constant. They don't realize that even the most driven individuals move forward on discipline during long stretches of emotional flatness. Quitting early often happens the moment people confuse lack of excitement with lack of potential. Fear plays an even subtler role. Not fear of failure, but fear of visibility. Staying in the game long enough means people start noticing. Expectations grow. Opinions appear. Suddenly your effort is no longer private. You're no longer invisible. For many, that visibility is uncomfortable. It exposes you to judgment and disappointment. Quitting early allows you to retreat before the spotlight gets too bright, before the stakes feel real. Then there's the comfort of familiarity. The human brain loves what it knows, even if what it knows is limiting. Pushing through the middle phase of any goal requires sitting with confusion, repetition, and slow progress. The old life, even if unsatisfying, feels predictable. The new life feels uncertain. Quitting becomes a return to psychological comfort, not because it's better, but because it's familiar. This is why people often quit right when momentum is about to compound. What makes this pattern especially dangerous is that quitting early trains the brain. Each time you stop when things get uncomfortable, you reinforce the belief that discomfort is a signal to retreat. Over time, your tolerance for uncertainty shrinks. You start quitting faster and faster, not because you're weaker, but because you've practiced quitting more than persisting. The habit compounds, just like success would have. The truth is, most breakthroughs happen after the point where most people stop. Progress is not linear. It's layered. The early stage teaches basics. The middle stage builds resilience. The later stage unlocks leverage. When you quit early, you only experience the hardest part without ever reaching the rewarding part. You walk away right before effort begins to multiply. Those who succeed are not immune to doubt or boredom. They simply interpret them differently. They don't see discomfort as a warning sign. They see it as evidence that they are stretching beyond the familiar. They expect the middle phase to feel messy and unrewarding. Because of that expectation, they don't panic when motivation dips or results stall. They keep moving, not because it feels good, but because they understand what's happening beneath the surface. Quitting early also protects people from redefining their standards. Staying long enough forces you to upgrade how you manage time, energy, and focus. It demands structure, it demands sacrifice. Many people say they want results, but unconsciously resist the lifestyle that produces them. Quitting allows desire to remain theoretical. Persistence makes it practical, and practicality removes excuses. If there's one hard truth beneath all of this, it's that most people quit early because they mistake emotional discomfort for failure. They assume that if something feels hard, slow, or uncertain, it must be wrong. In reality, those sensations are often signs that something meaningful is unfolding. Growth rarely announces itself with clarity. It whispers through frustration, repetition, and quiet progress. The way forward is not more motivation or inspiration. It's reframing what the difficult phase means. When you feel like quitting, it doesn't mean you're failing. It often means you're exactly where you're supposed to be. The difference between those who break through and those who disappear is not talent or luck. It's who stays long enough for effort to compound. So if you're standing at that edge right now, feeling tired, uncertain, and tempted to walk away, pause before you decide. Ask yourself whether you're truly done or whether you're simply uncomfortable, because discomfort fades, progress compounds. And quitting early guarantees only one outcome: you'll never know how close you really were. If this resonated with you, don't let it end here. Share it with someone who's on the verge of giving up. Save it for the days when doubt feels louder than purpose. And most importantly, commit to staying a little longer than feels comfortable. That extra stretch, that unseen effort, that quiet persistence is often where everything changes.